And then he rips off his head and he goes, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. I'll never.
I've always
Well,
hated you. I think that's the best way to summarize the visuals. It looks really cool.
yeah.
None of the blood is actually blood. Don't worry.
Zooms in. Whoa. Whoa. What? This is weird. Welcome, everyone, to Save the Script episode 10. We have a very special episode for you. It's special because it's the 10th one, so yay. We are going to be talking about Glitch's new show, The Gaslight District.
Yeah. I'm Agent M, by the way. I'm
I'm Baby
also here.
Giraffe, but everyone knows that, so.
I mean, if you're on episode 10, maybe. Or maybe you just started with this one.
It's a good one to start with because we're talking about
Yeah.
something we like. Ooh, spoilers. We like it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Glitch's newest pilot, The
Um,
Gaslight District.
if you haven't seen it, it is free on YouTube, so go watch it before you listen to us spoil everything because we're just going to be talking about everything from the show, so you've been warned.
Yeah, and it's about 25 minutes long, so it's not a very long thing either. You're not having to catch up on a whole series or anything. We're just talking about a pilot, so um and you should probably check it out.
Yeah, definitely as far as praise that I've seen going around for it, the biggest thing I've seen is the animation, which I would probably agree. It is probably the best aspect, or at least my favorite aspect of the pilot. What do you think?
I would agree. I think the visuals are my favorite thing about the pilot.
I was
I
it was like the third watch through I realized, oh wait, it's widescreen now. I didn't even realize that, and it didn't even bother me like the transformation between widescreen and full screen. I didn't even notice when it changed back. I was like, oh, now we're full screen again. Like there's so much happening all the time. Um, and that's partly because of it's fast paced, but it doesn't bother me like the all the awesome animation. So
Yeah, there's a ton of great visuals. They've really made a very unique art style. I haven't seen anything quite like this. I think seen, there's a lot of things that you could probably point to as maybe sources of inspiration, but I don't think I've seen anything um, come together to make a final like complete art style that looks like this.
I'm trying. There are a few things I want to point out in particularly. Um, if you look at Ken, his character design, his arm is like all muscle, right? Is that what that is? I assume.
Yeah, his skin has been like ripped off or something.
Yeah.
It's
And it looks like there's like an inch gap in between like his skin and his muscle. You know what I'm talking about?
I'll try to find a good shot to
Go to
see, but
2313. I'll put all these visuals on screen for everyone.
okay.
2313. You see how it's like
Okay,
sticking out?
yeah.
And it's super prominent.
Yeah.
And when it moves, it looks kind of weird, but like that everything in the show, it's rigid, but it doesn't really feel rigid when you're watching it. It's really interesting.
I mean
It
by rigid.
uh it feels like it's like stiff, like it almost feels like not like a claymation. Maybe it is claymation, more like a puppet. That's the way I would describe it. It looks
Like
like it's
stop
real.
motion? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks firm, like it's a toy or something, like being repositioned.
Mhm.
But everything like
It does.
flows super fast.
It definitely feels a lot like stop motion, um, which I think is really cool. I really like stop motion. I like how it looks, and how it moves in particular. So yeah, I really like that aspect of it. And there are so many points where you can just see a lot of texture, like in depth in the models, like scratches and dents and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Um, and I think that's really cool and helps add to the feeling of them being like a real object, of looking like a real object, which is just awesome. I think it looks great.
yeah. There was a The when someone gets shot, I no, it's Breadhead. When Breadhead gets shot, they're not holes; they're like stickers on him. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did notice that.
I'll put a picture on screen. I got it at 538 is what I had. But man, I saw that and I had to pause. I had to like go back and like look at that because I was like, wait, what are those? What are those bullet holes? They're like little stickers on them. But
Yeah,
and that feels like another thing that would happen in like a stop motion like a movie to watch to look at the model.
yeah, they definitely feel like something that was just like stuck to a model
Yeah.
instead of actually like punching holes in a model, which would be kind of wasteful and probably wouldn't look the best if you didn't do it right. You'd have to be very careful about how you did it, but those bullet holes look pretty good on Breadhead.
Yeah, I was like blown away because I didn't even notice it the first time, and then the second time I was like, "Wow, that's like a really cool effect, like to use."
Oh yeah, yeah, it looks really good.
As much as good as you can look when you're full of dozens of bullet holes. But there
I
we
mean,
go.
hey, he's the best person I've seen who's gotten
Yeah,
shot. Like
yeah,
he wears it well.
I do like how Jack shoots like realistically a dozen bullets in total, and they're all covered in like 50 bullets each.
Yeah, it's good exaggeration for sure.
Yeah, but I I would a lot of animation that's fast paced I could call fun, but this is like super hyper, like flash frames all the time. Uh like
They have a
everything's
lot of good impact frames for
oh
sure.
yeah. Oh yeah. And there is a lot of it and sometimes I get tired of that during but not during this.
Mm.
I the first time I watched it, I thought it was too fast paced in general. Just the story, but the animation I mean, it fits perfectly. So,
Yeah, I don't have like any problems with the visuals pretty much. I have no problems that I can think of with the visuals. I think it looks really good.
yeah. And all throughout the episode the different like glowing features like their eyes glow at certain times or like
Yeah.
the symbol of what the black hand is that what it is like it glows at different
Yes.
times and it all fits really well with like these models that look really good you would think I would think it wouldn't fit very well.
I love the glowing effect on the eyes and the teeth. I it looks just awesome with the heavy shadows and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It makes for a really striking contrast. Um and it's really cool. It looks really cool, especially like when they're approaching Jack's car in the like after it's crashed.
Oh yeah.
It's
They're
very cool.
all
It makes
like
them look very intimidating, as they should.
yeah it looks super creepy it looks super creepy.
Oh yeah, it's great. And another one I really like is when he's pulling off when Kin is pulling off the Virtue's head.
Oh yeah.
I love his expression and how it's emphasized by the lighting choices they made with the eyes and the teeth and like the silhouette of the body and everything. It looks really good.
Yeah, you mean when he's eating it, or when he's eating the brain, or when
when
he's just
he's
pulling the head off?
when he's ripping the head off to get to the brain.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yep, yep.
When he's eating it, he unhinges his mouth really far,
Yeah, I did
which
not
is
notice that the first time, but I'm on it right
yeah,
now, and I was like, wow, I don't remember him
it's
unhinging like a snake. Okay.
it is like a bear trap. It's really good exaggeration. I think it looks great. Um,
But then the shot of him like just standing there after he's eaten like the brain, and he's like laughing
Laughing about
maniacally.
it.
Oh man, that's freaking creepy, man.
Yeah, and he's got this big green glow that happens as well,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but the green glow is definitely tied to the Black Hand's um, resurrection magic. So I'm not sure what that means happened to the virtue, but I don't think it's good for him. Um,
Nope, probably not.
yeah, probably not. I think it was probably a good choice to have the blood be purple. and to avoid censorship, of course. But I think it's a good color to choose, um, considering a lot of the characters are green, and I think those colors go pretty well together.
Yeah, well, yeah, the green and purple can be used really well, like super well.
I think it's a good combo. So
And there's a little bit of black blood too, as well.
yeah, I like how it's not just like, you know, it matches the setting well. It's like tied in with the setting, so it's not just used as a way to avoid censorship.
Oh yeah, there's
To
definitely
get
a
past YouTube censors.
there are reasons for it, as we'll get into.
Yeah,
So
I really like that it's tied into the plot. Not that they would have had to do that if they had a different plot in mind or something, but like I like that there's a good justification for it in the story.
yeah, I didn't even think about that, avoiding like potential issues with showing blood and on YouTube or
Yeah.
anything. But
Well, I mean, I believe it's one of the reasons why in Murder Drones they went with a story about robots.
oh, okay,
Um, because Liam Vickers, the showrunner for that, he likes to do a lot of horror kind of stuff. So I'm pretty sure he's run into some problems with YouTube in the past, um, because he was dealing with a lot of human characters before. So using robots helps you avoid that, because then you know nobody cares if you
it's
show
all
gore
robots.
robots.
That red stuff
Yeah,
is hydraulic fluid. Okay, that's what that is.
well, they made it black, just be like oil. So
Mm. We'll just have it be red. Be red oil. Yeah, in this world, the oil is red, just to annoy YouTube, just to get by on a technicality.
yeah, I don't think they let it slide.
At the very beginning of your show with human characters, you just have someone character say, "Oh, we are all robots. We are all made to look like humans," and that's just
you
the very
just
beginning of the show.
you just have like a big text warning says all the characters in the show are actually robots, so none of the blood is actually blood. Don't worry. And then you just play the episode you made like normal.
As normal, yeah, exactly. I would love that. Okay, all right.
That would
Back
be
to
really funny.
back to talking about art. I just love the tone it sets for the whole episode. Like, it's inviting but still super creepy. Even from the very beginning. Um,
Oh yeah.
so it kicks off really fast. Um, you see all the different characters and all the like. I think the character designs are all super cool, all super unique. I guess maybe the background characters are all pretty similar, but I mean that's not that big
Yeah,
of a
all
deal to
the
me.
background characters have pretty much the same design. I like that design, but it is pretty much the same design. I don't mind that though. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
Um and depending on writing, you could tie that into the writing as well. Um like if they're meant to act more as like one like unified thing, then having one design for all of them could actually tie into that thematically if they act in a very unified way.
yeah. We don't get much of anyone else really, but they're all just background characters. But
Yeah, for the most part, um we get the Smiling Dead, we get Ken, Breadhead, Mud, and Mel, and then we also get Jack the Rat,
yeah, yeah,
the two virtues, and the the main angel,
the Angel Mother.
the mother angel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
wonder if
those are
they're gonna
really the
add any
main
more
characters.
characters. You think they will?
Probably.
Hmm.
I mean, I they've got to add at least one, because someone fishes Jack up out of the ocean.
Yeah, that'll be very
Whoever
interesting.
did that is, yeah. So I'm very interested to see who that was, who's going around fishing up bodies, fishing up people, I should say.
Yeah. I like how when it shows like the fishing for people in the ocean there, you see like the city in the background that's like been flooded. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really cool detail
Just to show that
of
this
just
is
how.
because this is supposed to be Earth, like thousands, like eons in the
Way
future.
down the line,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah.
I
Um,
I really like oh sorry, you want to go ahead?
I was just gonna say one more really particular frame I was gonna talk about real quick that I thought was really cool. Um, it's at the very end. Uh, it's when Mel's in the shadow um of Ken. Ken's giving his speech to everybody, like how we're gonna kill this human in this egg, and
Yeah.
then Mel's just like standing in the shadow. In the shadow, it kind of looks like the boogeyman from the Nightmare Before Christmas. Like that's the kind of silhouette like it looks like, but
It definitely does look
but
like that.
his mouth is like there's light coming through the mouth, and it doesn't make sense for the
Mhm.
shadow, but it looks really cool. So
Yeah, I think it looks cool to have that. Um, I really like the character animation in that scene, um, especially on Mel. Just like you can see a lot of doubt and worry on her face throughout the whole scene
yeah, well, like
about what's going on.
most of the entire episode, she's been super pumped and upbeat, and like she's like
Right.
terrified. Even here, like even before like the big uh-oh moment, you see a lot of emotion on her face. I really like it.
Yeah, you can definitely see that she's really thinking about what Kin is saying, really being reminded of how she doesn't belong and how everyone, if everyone knew, they would kill her.
Yeah.
And maybe even some doubt about Kin's intentions. I really I don't think we've mentioned this yet, but I really like that the models have all these little like lines on them, like these 2D lines. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, 2D lines.
Yeah,
You just
like
mean like
if you look at, sorry, go ahead.
you mean like I'm looking at Mel's face right now, like on a close up, and it looks like someone's like drawn on her with a marker. Is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
that's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean like if you look at, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's like just the way they textured it, almost like it's glossy, but then there's also like 2D like effects on her.
Yeah, I love the little like 2D scribbles on them. Like in any close up you can see them. Like Kin's nose is kind of drawn on. He's got like two nostrils drawn on his nose. And when he talks, you can see like some I don't know if they're called frown lines, but like the creases at the edge of the mouth, you can see those get drawn on and just all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And of course just the general like texturing of all the lines being there. I just think it looks really cool.
Yeah, it does. It looks everything I think looks really cool.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, as far as like the only other glitch show I've seen is the Digital Circus, and this is, in my opinion, way better looking than Digital Circus. So
I definitely prefer the art style of this over Digital Circus. Um, I'm not really big on that kind of art style that Circus has, anyways. So it's not that it's poorly executed. It's just it's not really my thing.
yeah, I
It's a
could say it's
lot.
well executed, but
Yeah,
this just it just feels like there's so much more depth um
right.
in the
I mean
backgrounds
this
and I don't know. I just love the world that
one of
this is set in. So
yeah one of the big differences I'd say in art style is just the how textured everything is in Gaslight District compared to Digital Circus. Because Digital Circus is going for a much cleaner look, which is meant to be reminiscent of like old computer games. But this is meant to be very gritty to match kind of the brutality and the brokenness of the setting, I guess. So everything's got all these nicks and cracks and just so much texture, I think is the best way to put it. Which I really like that kind of stuff. So it's definitely more up my alley. Like I don't know how easy of a frame it's to get to, but it's when Jack crashes in the car.
Oh yeah, yep.
Just about. Like you could see like the texture of like the airbag and stuff.
I'll try. I'll see if I can try to find it here.
Or wait, maybe I've got I'm describing it wrong. I think I'm describing it wrong. Maybe I'm not sure what that is actually.
You don't
It's
know what you're talking
or
about?
maybe it's his sleeve. It's his sleeve. That's what it is. It's a sleeve when he goes to grab the gun in his mouth.
Okay.
It's at 4:01. I also like the detail of he's got a like a dead whale like keychain on his rear view mirror, obviously referencing the whale belly butcher shop.
Oh. See, like these are the things that I didn't even think about.
Yeah, just there's a lot of attention to detail in how everything's designed. It's really cool. It's really cool and well done.
Dude, when he reaches
And
into like in his stomach to grab the gun, man, I was like, "What the heck?" The first time watching, it was kind of weird. Kind of weird the first time watching. Kind of weird.
yeah, I think it does a good job of emphasizing like how grotesque these people are, you know? That they could just like store guns and bullets inside their stomachs and it'd be like totally
Yeah,
normal and fine.
and like 50 gold coins or whatever.
Yeah.
I really
Just
like
eating.
that part where Mud just downs like Jack's entire life savings.
Yeah, he just downs his entire wallet.
Uh,
And then punches him in the gut
yeah,
and puts it all in the register.
that's pretty good. I do like that. Uh,
Yeah.
do you want?
Neither
Is there anything
sorry.
else about the animation you want to talk about before we move on to world building and such?
Uh I just think the character animation is really good. Like I don't know how much praise I can give it, but it's really well done. Just like really good job of reflecting the characters' emotions and like how they're feeling. The acting of it is very well done. Um, I like the part where Mel is like talking about the blood, her blood being purple.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which it definitely is, right? It's
All you
definitely
had to
purple.
say.
Yeah,
All you had to do was
where
answer the question.
she takes a finger in Jack's blood and just puts it on her nose, which is of course later it's revealed that's how she got found out was because she had a nosebleed. So it just ties back into that, and it's good like visual. It's good visual emphasis, I guess, is a good way to put it.
When she's holding the knife to Jack's throat, and you can see everything in her eyes, like everything's reflective
Yeah,
in her eyes.
I really like it when they do that. I think it looks great as like a for those like heightened emotions for those tense scenes where you can
Mm-hmm.
see the reflection in the eyes. Yeah, it looks really cool.
It looks really cool. It looks really
It
cool.
looks really cool. I think that's the best way to summarize the visuals. It looks really cool.
Yeah. And I know, I mean, some people would say, "Oh, but you need to be focused on like showing as much emotion of the character that you're actually showing." Like, which they did. They did that, and then they also let you see Jack's face with a knife through his throat. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good framing of it's a really cool shots because then you can have it like focused on one character but have that shot mirrored so you can focus on the other character at the same time. It's really cool. And I also really like how they incorporate 2D not just in the texturing but in the effects. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, like
Um,
when the guns are swirling around and like you see all the
yeah, like the flash of the gunfire
mm-hmm.
and like smoke and the bubbles under the water. I think it looks really cool to I think 2D animation in particular is very good for effects. Um, so I really like how it looks. Really like how how it all comes together.
Even when even man, I'm watching the scene now, and even when Mud like pulls the trigger like there's like a 2D effect, like like the click, and I don't know. It just looks makes
Yeah,
everything look so cool.
yeah, it's really good, really good. And more of the like the character stuff is like when Mud walks over, gives Jack a cigarette and lights it for him right before they
Yeah.
throw him in the ocean.
Wait,
It's like,
why are we chasing Jack? I like Jack.
I like Jack.
And he's like, oh, I'm really gonna miss you. Won't be the same without you. And then he takes his wallet and then drinks his wallet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really funny.
All right. Do you want to do your best, Agent M, at explaining the setting of the show for us?
I can try. I can do my best.
Okay.
Um, so this show is set in a far future version of Earth where somehow humanity has um discovered a way to become immortal through this like big stone kind of obelisk thing called the Black Hand. And because of that, they've really embraced their worst traits and become very twisted, deformed versions of themselves called rotlings. So they've really devolved from where where we are now, I guess. Um, and so the society and culture is very much it's very selfish and very decadent, I suppose. Um, People are not really very nice, so to put it lightly, I guess. But there's a prophecy regarding the immortality that it's the only thing that can stop it is a human. Um, so everybody's on the lookout for a human, and every I forget how many years is
I
it?
think I think every
Do you know how many
10,000.
years it is? Every 10,000
I'm pretty
years?
sure it's every 10,000 years.
So every 10,000 years, a human is born, and the Rotlings find and kill the human before the prophecy can happen and be fulfilled, in order to preserve their immortality. Um, but this time they don't know that they haven't really managed to, and they're kind of waiting for the human to appear, not knowing that the human is already among them, and that's the main character, Mel. So that's kind of the broad stroke of the setting,
Yeah,
I would say.
I was a little confused because the prophecy was like a human's gonna appear, and I'm like, wait a second, isn't everyone a human? But I think the idea is um these people have been or are no longer human is what the show is trying to tell
Yeah,
us.
yeah, they've had the immortality so long that they've become something different called a rotling,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and
which they used to be human a very, very long time ago.
yeah. So,
Um,
so my question is, where did Mel come from? That's a big question.
um, I don't really think it's completely answered in the show. We do see a picture of her with the virtue
Yeah,
that can eat. I forget the virtue's name. I think is it vigilance?
I think it is, or if that might be the first one. I know vigilance is one of them. So
Okay, let me let me see if
they
I
might
can
flash
find
it
it.
on screen when they.
They do. They flash pretty much all the main characters, all the big characters' names on screen. So the virtues get it flashed on screen. I'm not sure when that happens. Temperance, that's what his name is.
Temperance? Okay. Yep. Yep, it sure is.
Temperance. I think the other one is vigilance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we see a picture of Mel as a baby with temperance. So it's definitely related to the virtues in some way. It could be related to temperances whatever he's doing with that big egg cage thing.
Yeah, that has something
Yeah,
inside of it that is
it
being
has
plugged
something
into.
inside of it that he's got
He's
like
pulling
a
a
fleshy.
singed, is what he's doing.
Yeah, he's got like these weird like fleshy things coming out from the egg that like feed into it that are like pumping something into it, maybe blood, maybe it's a heart or something like that. But it's definitely part of the creature that he's experimenting on. So I'm sure it's tied to that somehow, and Ken clearly has has a history with temperance. So I'm not sure exactly what happened. I'm not sure if Ken was planning on killing the human, like going after the virtues and killing the human, or and he just decided not to. He had mercy, or if something else happened. But I suppose that's something we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think the whole setting like for the show is like super cool. Like it's super
Oh yeah,
interesting. I am really invested in figuring out
I
where Mel came from and what's
love
gonna happen to the
I
prophecy.
love
All
the
that.
yeah, I love the environments of all the different areas from the Gaslight District to Paradise Lost and Heaven. I just love the like how distinct they all look.
Yeah. Well, temperance is like like where the big egg is and wherever. There's like tapestries around. It's all clean, but
Oh
it's all like lit like red. Yeah, it looks really freaking cool.
yeah. Um, one of I think I forgot to mention this, but like the in the intro scene of the like actual Gaslight District area where it's giving kind of the exposition of what it is, and it's panning down the city. I really like how like kind of cobbled together everything is, and it looks like it's everything's made out of like shipping containers, which I just thought was a really cool like detail. Like they're not living in like regular houses. They're just living in like a bunch of shipping containers that they've thrown together.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, yeah, I thought that was really cool. Um, but the different areas even have like they have different kind of main colors going on for the backgrounds. Like the Gaslight District has a lot of greens in the background. Um, and then like
Paradise Lost is
uh,
like almost stale, like of all colors.
yeah, it's just almost monochrome. It has a lot of whites and grays,
Mm-hmm.
and then heaven is very purple. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
That they all look so distinct. Even on like the smaller scale of things, like inside the butcher shop, it's got a lot of warm lighting, like a warm yellow light to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go in the fridge and everything's got this nice cool um bluish light because of all the ice and the temperature and everything. Just looks really good.
Oh yeah. Isn't heavy like or not heavy? Isn't heaven like super stormy as well?
Um yeah, I mean it seems to be.
But yeah,
I'm
it's
not
like
sure if that's
super purple.
yeah, I'm not sure if that's just because of the angel storm that's going on, or it has a lot of stars in the sky. You can see like some constellations and stuff in the sky behind the angel mother.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's meant to just be really, really high up, like close to space.
And even heaven is like run down as well. You can see in the background,
Yeah,
which is very
yeah. It doesn't.
interesting.
It looks like it's got a bunch of ruins and stuff, and you can see some like decaying virtues in one shot, like some of the robot bodies of the virtues.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'll try to find the timestamp. It's 1946. You can see some broken virtue bodies on the right and left
Oh, you
sides of the
can.
screen.
That is
Yeah.
very interesting.
Hmm. And you got all these weird symbols inside the mother angel, like carved in her neck,
Yeah, yeah,
her head. Really interesting. Some of them look like the same symbol as the black hand.
yeah. I
So
I
I'm
am like
curious what they're
super
trying to do
interested
there.
in the lore of this show, to be honest with you. I am like
Oh yeah.
trying to find every little hint I can to figure out what's going on.
I'm pretty sure that some of the people, I think some of the people on the Reddit decoded um one of the ciphers they're using for the languages.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like some of the inscriptions on like the tablets and in the backgrounds and stuff.
Interesting. Because I look because remember when I said when Mud pulls the trigger, there's like an effect. It like shows a word, but it's like all different
Yeah,
symbols. Like and so I'm like, man, like that's such a cool detail right there.
I'm pretty sure they're using like a one for one cipher. So like I forget, I don't remember the name for it, but it's one where you just like substitute each letter in the alphabet with a different symbol, basically.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing. Um, or at least I think that's what I saw uh, on a video, and I think I saw a video say that. So that might be something you want to look at later.
Yeah, I've been digging into this thing, man.
Yeah.
I freaking love the lore. Like the fact that the angels um like their blood is black as well. Very
Hmm.
interesting. Same
And
as
the
our human.
temperance,
So
the virtues, sorry, the virtues blood is well, we don't see the blood, but they,
no, we do.
uh,
We do.
sorry,
It's black as well, isn't it?
I think it might be, but I'm thinking of at the end when they're kind of doing like the summary of like what's happened, like the closing.
Yep.
They show vigilance again, getting up from the getting like obliterated by the angel storm. There's a green flash.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
So there seems to be some.
there's that black hand symbol on Temperance's like brain, like before Ken eats it. Like you see that like imprinted on the brain.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that?
That's
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah. So I don't. It made it seem like to me like they were like humans, but had still like they just had tried to preserve them like at least the brain as much as possible. But
Yeah, it's like they kind of mutated in a different way than
um,
the Rotlings.
yeah, they it seems like all robotic. They didn't want any living parts of themselves. So
Yeah,
very interesting.
yeah, I'm really intrigued to see what's going on with the virtues for sure.
And the fact that you see some of them like or at least their body parts in heaven like scattered around, that's these are all very
Yeah,
interesting
the robot bodies. Yeah.
yeah, very interesting things we're looking at here. Wow.
Yeah, and the fact that they still use the Black Hand's power to make themselves immortal, but
Mm-hmm.
they look down on the Rotlings as like disgusting creatures. Very interesting. I'm very curious to see where that goes, to learn more about that stuff.
Oh yeah. Hmm. I wonder if if the if vigilance and is it temperance, right?
Yeah, it's temperance.
Temperance. I wonder what kind of experiment they're trying to do. If they're trying to like bring like the humans, like as if they're trying to break their like to get rid of their immortality. Hmm.
I'm not
Interesting.
sure.
I don't know.
Maybe.
All speculation. Don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm really curious to learn more. There's a lot of a lot of unanswered questions, which I thought was funny because I saw a lot of people saying that they weren't really interested in the Gaslight District because all of the questions it raised in the pilot were answered, and I was like,
What?
I I don't think
What?
so. Yeah, they said like, oh well, we already know like everything, and I just don't get that opinion because I don't feel like I know much at all. Um,
No, not at all.
I think I think it's just because they were like, "Oh, well, we already know that Mel's the human." And we've yeah, so I think that was the
So?
main thing about. Yeah,
Who
I don't know.
cares? That's what gives us all the drama. That's like the main
Yeah.
point of conflict. That's how the episode ends.
Yeah, we already know that Mel's the human. Ken already knows that Mel's the human, so like
But
what other questions are
Mud
there?
and Breadhead don't, or at least
Yeah.
not that we know of. So,
Mud and Breadhead don't seem to know. Jack says they don't know.
yep.
I don't think Mud definitely doesn't know based on the way he's acting.
Man, when Jack is like dying and he's like trying to say like, "Hey, Mud, Breadhead, like she's
Yeah.
human." Oh man, I was like, man, this is like a really intense start. This is crazy.
It is. It is a really intense start.
And then he
And
says Ken deceived us all, which was really interesting.
yeah. I
So,
mean, like, if you think about it from his perspective, it's like she's going to doom them all to like she's gonna get them all killed. She's gonna ruin their way of life, take away their immortality,
yeah,
and you know, obviously that's something they don't want. But maybe even at this point, it could be like all that's holding them together, really, because like I mean, Ken, he's got a knife like in his brain.
yep, yeah.
Like if the curse was broken, would he just die? Like, would he just die right then and there
I would
with the
assume
immortality
almost everyone would just die like right away.
taken away? Yeah, I mean, like Jack, he had a gun in his stomach. Like, if the immortality goes away, does he just die because he's got a gun in his stomach and it's not supposed to be there?
Well, I don't know about that because I would say most of them their bodies are all non-human like parts. So it's only
That's true.
it seems to me like only when a very like important part of their body like gets destroyed do they die and they come back to life when they like glow or whatever. So
Right.
because even Ken and I guess Mud and Breadhead, they all die when they get shot at by Jack, but then they all come right back to life, like right away.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know. Like,
Yeah, I don't know
I
what
don't know
constitutes when
if
someone dies when they don't.
if the immortality has like a passive effect where it keeps you alive of things that should be killing you, like having all of your muscle exposed.
Well, Mud's like, well, if she loses an arm, just sew on a new one. Like, and I don't know what that
Yeah,
exactly means. Like, whether you can sew on their old limbs or if they're actually like some way to get new body
I
parts.
mean, Mud's head comes off multiple times in the episode, and they just put it back on.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe it's something like that. And then again, Joshua regenerates, and his head was exploded.
Does his head
So
come
I don't
back though?
know. I'm not sure. I didn't.
I didn't think his head
It
came
happens
back.
pretty quickly, so I didn't really notice. I'll try to find that spot. No, his jaw is there, but his head does not come back.
That's what I thought.
You're correct.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to
He
see
didn't
how they get
regenerate the
body
body.
parts.
Yeah, that's a good question.
And what is Breadhead? Like what the heck is that? Like what
Well, he seems to be, from what I've seen people speculating on, is he seems to be some sort of golem.
Okay.
Um, one of the reasons why people are pointing at this as like a theory is because of there's like a one frame where you can see when he's right after he sniffs the yeast and it goes into his brain, right?
Yeah.
It goes into his head. There's a big piece of paper that unravels there, and it's literally like one frame. So it's kind of tricky to find, but
I'll see if I can get it because I really, really want to see this. There's like a paper that unwinds.
yeah, there's a paper and it like unfolds. Yeah, if you put it on quarter speed right as he's opening the yeast, you should be able to find it pretty easily.
Okay. Already. Let's just do that. Playback speed, quarter speed.
Yeah.
Taking some nice yeast there. Zooms in. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
What? This is weird. This was not in it. I have never seen this before.
Yeah, so instead of having like a brain, it goes into this paper and it unravels it. And you can see all these symbols on it. Um,
Whoa.
there's a moon with a very smug moon, like a skeletal sun, an egg, and maybe like a whale or a fish or something.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
I
And
do like how
tons of
Ken's
symbols,
like, I
birds.
can't do this to you, Jack. So I'm gonna have Breadhead do it for me.
It's a good character moment.
I
Yeah,
hate
but
to do this
I'm
to
not
you.
really sure what it means. It it definitely looks like he's some sort of created. It looks like he's a golem, I would say. Um, because do you know about like the mythological roots of golems?
I
Like
have
anything about the myths
no
about them?
clue. No clue.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of niche. I don't really know the actual like full story, but I was trying to look up where this came from because I've seen this paper thing related to golems a couple times. So it's a Jewish myth from I think the 16th century is what I read on Wikipedia,
Okay.
and it's somebody writes like the name of God and like figures out how to create like a life form, and he like puts it in like on a piece of paper. He writes the name of God, puts it in this like construct's mouth, and it comes alive.
Okay. Interesting.
And he's able to give it like basic orders and stuff, but it's very literal, and so it gets like out of hand and it goes wrong and he has to destroy it. That's kind of the gist of what I read.
Interesting. Yeah, the only thing I knew about golems was from Minecraft. So that that shows what I
Yeah.
know.
So and those ones no paper. You don't need any paper. Yeah, so that's a really quick detail that is pretty interesting. I'm sure there are tons of people speculating about what exactly all the things mean, especially if they've decoded the language they're using, the cipher they're using. Then I'm sure they have a lot more information to go off of than just the picture.
Yeah.
We do. So that's a really cool detail.
That's a super cool detail. Like
Yeah,
I didn't even know that. It was just zoomed in, then we were done, and then because it went by so fast.
yeah. It's so fast. It's like again, it's literally like a frame. Exactly. There was another one that was pretty quick. They're like it's a pan when they're introducing like the idea of the human in the opening,
Yeah.
the human being the person who can like destroy the immortality magic, the obelisk, and in that pan you can see Mel's face for just like a split second as it goes from one side of the street to the other side. I'll see if I can't find it. Oh, yeah, it's like 103 to 104. It's really quick.
103, 103 to 104. Okay.
Yeah, it's again, it's like one frame, or you can see her face.
Okay, I'm on 103 right now. And
Okay.
okay, it that never happened. That never happened. Let me I'm
Hmm.
gonna have to go slow again just to see this.
Yeah, you're gonna have to slow it down. I'm on I'm on a quarter speed and I still missed it.
Oh my goodness! That is
Yeah, yeah.
cool.
I just noticed it today.
How
It's
did you
really
notice
cool.
that? Did you watch this whole thing in quarter speed?
No, I didn't, but I saw that flash of the eyes, the glowing eyes, and I was like, "Wait a second, that looks like somebody's face." Um, so that made me slow it down a bit. I was like, "I think that's Mel. I think that's her." And it is.
That is
So,
crazy.
yeah, it's really cool, and it's a nice smear frame too for the motion of it. Yeah, it's really cool.
Man, how few like percentage of people who watch this are ever gonna know that, ever gonna see that. That is such an
I think a pretty small percent
that
of
is such an
people.
awesome detail to put in there.
Yeah, yeah, it's really cool. Um, I think it's going to be a really small percentage of people, just like the paper inside of Breadhead's head. I found somebody else. I saw someone else mention that. So I didn't find that one on my own, but that one I found on my own, but not the Breadhead paper. But like they're just like one frame details all over the place. It's really cool.
That's awesome. Now I'm gonna have to watch the entire thing in quarter speed just so I can, I don't know, do a video be like, these are the 10 frames you missed watching the Gaslight District.
Top 10 things you missed in the Gaslight District.
Frame 1, you missed the single frame.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are a bunch of other papers and stuff that you can check out the writing on. Like I was curious about the check-in sheet. I haven't looked at what was written on it yet, but
Did you what's the point of the tag in the freezer?
the tag?
Yeah, it has a to Kenny from um oh what did it, who was it from? It started with an X. Enora, was it Ignora?
Do you have a timestamp?
1019.
I don't think we have enough context for that yet.
Hmm. I remember the first time watching it, I was like, wow, I could read that like the first time, so that's got to be like
Yeah,
super important.
I'm sure it's foreshadowing for an important character. I mean, there's no other reason why you would do that,
Yeah.
other than to foreshadow something important
I wonder if it's like
or an Easter egg, I guess.
someone's body part that's like frozen or something.
It's it's just like it's like the showrunner's like best friend or something.
That would be cool.
Just like an Easter egg.
I mean, I'm okay with
Yeah.
that too if it was that. So,
Yeah, that would be cool if it was something like that too. But I think more likely it's an important character that they're going to introduce later.
okay.
Where were we?
Oh, I don't know. I'm right now. I'm just like randomly
Yeah,
skipping through the
yeah.
through the show, just looking at all the beautiful frames. I skipped right to the one you were talking about earlier, where Ken rips off the head, and,
Yeah.
and you see like electricity like go everywhere.
Yeah, that's
Like,
one of my favorites. All the 2D like sparks flying off of
mhm.
it.
Meanwhile, he's like this ghost, shadowy figure, like with glowing teeth and eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. One another visual detail I really like is at the very beginning, like the opening shot of the show, is that like the guardrail, and like it's just a good example of this. Um, like the guardrail, the railing, it's all like got these crooked bends in it of the pipes.
Oh yeah,
You see?
yeah. I see what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
and that's pretty consistent with like a lot of the background stuff. Straight lines are in terms of like railing and stuff, they're pretty rare. Like all the railings are not like parallel, they're not perfect. Um, well, maybe not all. I shouldn't be that definitive, but like I noticed the one in heaven isn't straight either.
Everything's all like distorted. Like you said,
Yeah,
even in heaven, like
yeah,
it's a
they're
very
the
interesting
are
depiction of heaven, wouldn't you say?
yeah. Um, I mean, obviously, none of the depictions of these places are biblical, but I imagine they're not meant to be like that. It's not actually heaven. It's just meant to be like it's just using the names as like inspiration.
Yeah, yeah. I I thought it was interesting because typically, as far as I know, in pretty much every story with angels, like they're already immortal. So when you mentioned that
Mhm.
like the angel had might have had like some symbols of the black hand on like the neck, I'm like, well, what does that mean? Like, I really want to know what does that mean?
Yeah,
Oh.
I have no idea because it doesn't. I mean, they all the angels have black blood. They don't seem to be immortal.
No, it doesn't
Mm.
seem that way.
Yeah, and the little ones definitely don't seem that way. So so I'm not really sure what exactly is going on, which is another question
Yeah,
for the people who say there aren't any questions.
yeah.
There's
Well,
another question.
I don't know what exactly all they're borrowing from like different mythologies and like religious stuff. So I just don't know what their
Yeah,
plan is for any like I don't know. When they
yeah,
say,
I
"Oh,
don't.
they're this is a mother angel," but I mean it's a bird, so I don't know what exactly
Yeah,
the rules are.
I think they're playing pretty fast and loose with the inspiration. I
Yeah, yeah, which is
don't think
fine. I'm
they're
fine with that. I'm
really.
fine with that.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's not a criticism.
it just leaves
Um,
a lot of mystery, which I guess I'm fine
but
with because I really like it.
I would
So
I would kind of rather you either play fast and loose or you be like really faithful to it. Um, so that way, there's no like, well, we're doing a pretty good job. Like it's pretty accurate. Like either you're just like going, you know what, you used it as inspiration, but we're not trying to like adapt it at all. It just was something that we thought was cool and we took inspiration from. Or you're actually like trying to make an adaptation.
so I take it you're a big fan of Has Been Hotel.
No,
Okay.
I'm really not. I believe the showrunner for this worked on Has Been Hotel.
Oh,
I think on the backgrounds or something like that.
okay.
I'm not sure. I can look up his name. No, he worked on Hell of a Boss. That's the one he worked on.
Okay. The spin-off.
Yeah, the spin-off that got a series before the main show did. Wait, it's just kind of funny how that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 3D artist and a visual artist. So I'm not sure exactly what he did. I'm not sure exactly what he worked on, but 3D artist and visual development artist. So probably concept art
Do you want
or
to talk
something
about a
along
few of
those
the
lines.
characters?
Yeah, we haven't talked about the writing at all.
Yeah,
Um,
particularly I was gonna focus on Mel at the beginning and just go through her motivations and or at least her personality and such.
okay, yeah. You go ahead and give your thoughts. I need to plug in my computer.
Oh, is it gonna die?
Yeah, it's getting a little low. It's 29%, but it should probably still plug it in just in case.
Yeah, yeah, might as well. Um, so we're introduced right at the very start. There's car chase going on. The Mel is a part of the Smiling Dead, which is just this crime family. It kind of remind when they said that it kind of reminded me of Goldie and the Three Bears from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I thought that was pretty cool. Um, but she's a very upbeat and outgoing for who she is, because she is very mortal and she could die like at any point, but she is very much out to prove herself to her friends, um, which I don't. On one hand, I'm thinking, oh man, she should really be like quiet and trying to hide herself, but also, I don't know, particularly from the ending of the show or from the episode, sorry, how she's looking at Ken when he is like doing his whole speech. It almost seems like she's trying to prove herself to Ken, and if, the strongest point for that is during the plan when they're like planning on stealing the egg and killing it, whatever. She straight up asks him like if Ken is proud of her, um, for like planning everything out and doing everything. So there's a whole aspect of she's trying to prove herself to her friends and to Ken, um, but she also, I mean, she could die like at any point. So
Yeah, I definitely think that's a that's like a really big part of her motivation is that she wants to fit in with the smiling dead, her friends, and she wants to prove herself to Ken. Like you said, the part where she straight up asked him, like, "Are you proud of me? Like everything's going right as planned. Are you proud of me?"
yeah,
But
and
there's also the part. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and Ken just is like he's focused on something else, like so she just drops it, like, and it just moves on, and that's all we
Right.
get from just there.
Right. Because he's focused on um, taking out temperance.
So,
Now, it also to tie him back into that motivation. Um, when we see her open up the file for her plan, Kin a picture of her and Kin is like in there.
just the two of them by themselves.
Yeah, it's just the two of them. Like, um, and that's not really relevant to the plan, but it's just the two of them like smiling together. It's at 11:43 if you'd like to see it.
Going there right now. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would imagine that's there to remind her of like why she's doing it. I think that would tie back into that motivation of her wanting to have a good relationship with Ken, wanting to prove herself to him.
Yeah, and that, I mean, the relationship they have with her like proving herself to him, it makes me really curious on how she got to be where she is. Like how is Ken her
Right.
father? Like how did he come to be her father? So,
Yeah, I'm curious to see that too. Um I also think that it lead her motivation of wanting to prove herself and wanting to fit in. Um and also of course not wanting to get caught to a degree,
mhm.
like wanting to be accepted but not wanting to get caught. Um it comes into a lot of like a very natural conflict between Kin wanting to keep her safe because she is human and she could just die. I think that's a really good source of conflict because the two motives are just very simple and very understandable. Like Kin's her dad. He loves her. He cares about her. He doesn't want her to get hurt. And she can very easily get hurt. She can't do all the stuff that everyone around her can do because she's not immortal. And she wants to do the stuff that everyone around her is doing because she wants to fit in. So I just think that's a really good source of like natural conflict. It's not like it's not forced at all. There's no like forced misunderstanding or anything. It's just a natural character driven conflict.
And there's so much potential conflict. Like because when she because she just straight up told one of the coworkers, and that got her, and
Right.
that led to the murder or the cementing of those four coworkers, and so they're all
Right.
in the ocean, and so we have a lot of potential conflict between like Breadhead and Mud. Um,
Yeah.
like what if they find out? What does she want to tell them? Because she just straight up told one of the other coworkers. Did she trust them? Like so.
I mean, probably. I would assume she wouldn't have told him if she didn't trust him.
So yeah, I'm very interested to see
Well,
how their all the whole group's relationship to that knowledge works itself out.
yeah, because I mean, they're gonna find out at some point.
Oh yeah, they have to.
They have to. They're going to find out, and they could react to it in a lot of different ways. Um, I don't. I think Breadhead is more likely to have a positive or understanding reaction, I should
Yeah,
say. And I think Mud is more likely, if anybody's going to have a more negative reaction out of the main ones, Mud would probably have the more negative reaction.
yeah. I don't know. Mud's. I really like Mud. I think he's a really fun personality and he's hilarious.
He does. He does. Like the earlier line, it's like, why are we killing Jack? I like Jack.
Yeah, yeah. Like, is that after he shot him through the head, or was that? No, I think
Yeah,
that's. I don't
I'm
even
pretty sure it's
remember.
after he shot him.
He shoots him through the head. He's like, "Wait a second, I like Jack." Well, I
Wait a
guess if
second, why are we doing this?
yeah,
Yeah, I really like I really like that opening chase because it tells you a lot about the personalities of the characters and their relationship to one another.
yep. How Ken is still trying to be protective, um, in the opening chase when he's like, "Don't go out there, don't fight him,
Right.
whatever, stay here," and he gets all crazy.
Yeah, and of course Mel going anyways, which is a good introduction to both of their main motivations, at least in terms of their relationship to one another. What do you think of Mel as a protagonist?
Um, I think she works pretty well, to be honest with you. Um, I mean, obviously, if the show was like about her by herself, that might be kind of lame. But I mean, this the episode has done really well with giving us like very interesting relationships with her. So,
Right.
um, which I
I
mean,
definitely think she wouldn't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, just her by herself, she almost seems maybe a little too outgoing and a little like too crazy for me. Just because like if I was in her position, I would want to keep a low profile and not die. Um, but they've given her a lot of different motivations. With with Ken, so I think it works really well.
Yeah, I definitely think she wouldn't work as well on her own. I don't think any of the characters would work as well just by themselves. I think they all benefit from their interactions with each other and their dynamics. Is there anything else you want to say about Mel or
No, I don't think so.
okay. I guess Ken. Ken is the next one.
Yeah,
The
Ken's
next
cool,
main
man.
character. He is cool. he's
Um,
he's got a really cool design.
he does. Do you like how the overalls like on him like
They
are like
like
super rigid and they
float
stick
over.
out like a foot
Yeah.
over his actual shoulders?
Yeah, they don't actually like hang the straps aren't actually hanging on him. I think that's really fun. I've never seen that design before.
I don't think I
It
have
makes
either. I like how his head like he just keeps his weapon like in his head.
yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah,
wonder
I
if it would
really like
heal
that as
if he,
well.
took it out.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, if you look at Mud, he's got like bone just like peeking out.
Like you'd think that
Um,
hurts, man. You might want to take that out.
yeah,
But and when it goes it like zooms into his brain, it like shows it like like sparking off of the knife whenever he goes
yeah,
like crazy. So you might just that might help
sparking
you
off
with your
his
anger issues too. You just taking that knife out.
maybe. I'm not sure. I'm curious to see where that goes. I don't know exactly what's happening with his when he has like the flash and lights up the other side of his brain, like it
Yeah.
switches. I'm interested to see what that's about and where that came from and how it's working. Definitely is tied to his emotions. because he has um like an anger, like he breaks out in anger when it happens. He gets mad.
Yeah, he gets big mad.
Yeah. um there's another question for you. Any people who say there aren't enough questions, there's another one.
There's so many
Um
questions.
I have plenty of questions, so there's another one. Um I think he's pretty good as like a father character, you know?
I think he's really good. Um, I guess the point would be when he's the part where he's in not in heaven. What? No, it is heaven, isn't it? Or a Paradise
Um
Lost,
yeah,
where he's
Paradise Lost.
ignoring Mel and is going off by himself to
Mhm.
seek revenge or whatever it is he's doing. Um, kind of sacrificing like the mission in of itself for himself. But there's obviously some sort of history there that we're missing the context to. But as far
Well,
as
I mean,
most of the episode,
go
he
ahead.
is being protective.
I think even when he goes off by himself, he's being protective there. Because Temperance knows about Mel because he has the baby picture, and I believe he even says like he says, "Ken, I haven't told anyone."
That's true. That's
So
true. You think
I'm pretty sure,
that's what he's referring to? That he has Mel?
yeah, I think that's what he's referring is
Hmm.
is Mel. He's talking about Mel, and I think Ken is going there to just to shut him up permanently. That would be my guess, but I think even in that scene, he's got Mel's safety on his mind.
Well, that was like the one scene where I was like, he's not being as good of a father as I would like him to be. But if
Yeah,
that's true, if he's trying to silence like a loose end to protect Mel, then
yeah, I think that's what he's doing. Um, Given the context that we have in this episode, that would be my best guess.
yep,
Um,
he's perfect. He's freaking great. I
yeah,
mean, other than the fact that he's a crime boss, but
yeah, he's got some anger issues, but
I bet that I don't think the justice system in this world is super rigid. So
I don't think they really care. I think
otherwise, they wouldn't have shown
virtues
us like
are
50 bodies in the ocean that no one cares about.
yeah. I'm pretty sure the virtues are the only ones who have like any sense of like real law and order. So if if any like Rotlings step out of line, the virtues would be the ones who would have an issue. But I don't think they care if they beat each other up. So I really like him. I think the motivation of wanting to keep his daughter safe is um a really likable one. I
Yeah, it really humanizes him for a character that is very much non-human anymore.
yeah, because he's trying to balance that protection to a degree with keeping her involved and making sure she fits in to a degree because he's
Yeah,
still bringing her along on like their missions and stuff,
yeah. How old do you think Mel is? How
which
long?
seems to be recent development. Uh, I don't know. I don't know if I have a good guess. Probably late teens,
That's what I would guess.
like 18, something like that.
It's a long time to keep a secret.
That is a long time to keep a secret. I mean, granted, she's had a couple slip ups, but yeah, that is a long time to keep a secret.
I mean, the particularly like the nose. If she continues to have nosebleeds like she has had, I don't know how you're gonna keep that
Yeah,
secret for very long.
yeah, that's
That was a funny gag that I was like, okay, that's funny, but I don't know about that. That's
Yeah, that gag's pretty common in like anime and stuff. So,
Oh, really?
oh yeah, the nosebleed thing. Yeah, that's very much an anime thing.
I had no idea. I had no idea. But I guess since they're referencing something, then I guess that makes it a little better. But I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's just kind of a general trope. A lot of anime do that. I don't know if they're referencing any in particular. I'd assume it's more general, but I think you know the picture on the wall of the butcher shop
Yep.
where it's just all the characters.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it. It's such a good picture.
Or he's like petting Breadhead on his face.
Yeah, you could really tell kind of their relationship. Like Kid and Mel are very close, and Breadhead is obviously pretty close. And Mud, he's like the family friend, and
He's just standing
and
off to
Jack
the
is
side.
yeah, and Jack was the coworker, and he's gone. So
They just the picture a little short, cut him out of there.
I mean, he's got blood covering it now. So I think the shop itself is alive too.
What? The shop is alive?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it's inside a living creature. I think.
Well,
Like
it's
not to
inside
say
the
like the
ins.
paintings or the
Okay,
walls
gotcha.
are alive, but it's inside a whale, and I think the whale's alive.
Yep, yep.
I don't think it's dead whale. So yeah,
It's got the symbol. The whale's got the symbol of the black hand on it, so they're just using its corpse basically
it does.
indefinitely. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah, I didn't see that. It would make sense, but I haven't seen it. I think the only thing that doesn't seem to have the symbol, other than the angels, um, would be the flies, I guess.
Yeah, the flies. They're like soup. I don't know if they're
Yeah,
just
the
like
big fly
mutated
guy.
over time. Is that what they are?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure what the flies are, but they do seem to be different. They seem to be like the main source of like food for everybody.
But they're also customers.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure what what's going on with the flies. And the head of the fly is still like moving around, talking, when it's being served.
Yeah, the
So
female has to stab it.
not
Oof.
really sure. Yeah. I guess I guess that's all I have to say about Ken. I mean,
Oh, what did you think about
I'm
his
really
speech at the
interested to
end?
see where he goes. The part where he's talking about how the human is the only thing that stands in their way of eternal life and everything.
Yeah, I really liked the like just the way
Yeah.
he's like standing over Mel and like she's like terrified of him almost in the background.
Yeah, I really like that too. And you can even see in some parts of his speech where he's looking at Mel and kind of hesitating,
Yeah.
you know? His confidence is kind of wavering because but then he's got to put the act right back on. So, um, I do want to compliment the voice actor. I really liked the part he's holding Mel in the back of the van, just saying like "Stay with me." Thought that was really well delivered, well
Oh
acted.
yeah, when he thinks that she might actually die.
Yeah, just like saying "Stay with me, kid, stay with me." Thought that was really well done. Thought that was very humanizing. I guess is a good term for it.
Yeah, I like all the voice work for this whole
I do
pilot.
too. I really like the voice work. Mud is his voice actor does a good job at making him seem like this really slimy guy,
Yeah,
which he definitely is.
I really Mud might be I like him even more than Breadhead, even though Breadhead's pretty cool. But
Oh, I like Breadhead a lot, but I like them all. I think they're all pretty good.
pretty good cast of characters, I'd say.
Oh yeah,
You like when Mud gets like the wig on and it's like all in favor of mutinying, performing a mutiny, say
yeah.
aye.
Yeah, it's a good gag. And the the fact that Breadhead can drink just by having like bottles
Yeah,
stuck in his head.
yeah. Mel puts one bottle in his head, and the next time we see him, like three seconds later, there's like
He's-
four in his head, and his face is drooping.
yeah. You can see there's some like drops like dripping off of him as well. His voice actor also does a pretty good job at making him sound like he has like kind of like a lovable edge to him, I guess. Like is the way to put it I'm going with.
Yeah,
um, yeah, where he is this like big menacing creature, like this big hulking form, but he also seems like a nice guy.
yeah. He's like,
I don't know.
I would be I'm really interested to see how he reacts. When we finds out that
Yeah,
Mel's a human. I love the mouth on Breadhead.
you're breaking up a little bit on my end.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not breaking up on my end, but that's because I can hear myself.
Uh, you just try to. Can you repeat yourself?
Okay, I was saying how much I love the Breadhead's mouth. Like or I guess I love his whole
Yeah,
face, his eyes and his eyebrows. Like
all
is
the
it
teeth too. Yeah,
is it his tongue a baguette? Like
yeah. His tongue is a baguette,
that's so
which is
great.
funny. I really like that it's a baguette. It's really funny.
Yeah, pretty much
And
everything about Breadhead's design is really great.
yeah, I love his design. His design might be my favorite, but it's a hard call because I do like all of them. So I guess next character or anything else you want to say about Ken?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Um,
Okay,
uh,
Mud and Breadhead, I guess,
yeah,
are
Mud
the
and
next
Breadhead.
ones.
Man, I freaking love Mud. He is my favorite character because he's just so funny. Again, right from the beginning, he's characterized so well. Like he's playing with sniping out Jack. He takes out the mayor and then takes out like Jack without even looking. Then it's like, wait a second, I like
Okay,
Jack.
hang, hang on, hang on. You're breaking up really badly on my end. Hang on. Okay,
Any better?
hopefully that fixed it. I'm back. So
Okay. Now, what was I talking about?
sorry about that.
Something about Mud.
Yeah, Mud.
Oh, maybe I was just talking about how funny he was when he's trying to shoot
Oh
Jack,
yeah.
covering his eyes, and just and then as soon as he shoots him through the head, he's like, "Wait a second, I like Jack."
Yeah, he's very good. I really like how like slimy of a person he is.
He tries to get Mel to come work for him when I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it would literally just be them two because he works for Ken.
Yeah. I don't know if maybe he's got like his own side schemes he works on or something, but he's definitely up to something. He's definitely scheming. Of course, the way he eats the money and everything, just
Yeah, yeah. It's like, well, I like Jack, but I also like his money.
yeah,
And I like the gag where he puts on the wig. He's, like
right.
that was another joke that kind of came out of nowhere, but I really like that one. It really fit with his
I
character,
thought
I
it was
thought.
funny too. Yep.
And the buddy he runs into, like the security guard he runs into, and he goes, "Oh, hey,
Joshua.
Joshua." It's like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's like, and then he rips off his head and he goes, "I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you." I'll never.
I've always
Well,
hated you.
yeah, well, he says, "I'll never forgive you," which is something that I
Yeah.
thought was a very interesting line. Like in the right at like in the middle of all these like lines that are I thought was only comedy. So yeah, so even he's like getting stuff that's hinted at like for future. So
Yeah, I don't know if that was just a one-off gag or if it'll come back. It might come back.
I hate you. I've always hated you. I'll never forgive you. It's like, oh my gosh, dude, like
Well, maybe we'll find out why.
chill out. It was like 500
We'll
years
see.
ago, for goodness sake.
and starts beating him with the chair too. So
Yeah,
whatever it was
after
pretty
he's
bad.
dead, he's just like beating
Yeah.
him up. Dude, he's so like he's so funny, but he's like super endearing almost, like the way he talks to everyone else.
Yeah. He's a lovable scumbag for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, honestly, he we didn't. I'm trying to think. We didn't get that much of him because like after the heist, like is
No,
he
not really.
is he even like with Ken and Mel like at the end?
At the very end,
Yeah, at the very end.
during the speech, yeah, they're there.
They're there. Okay,
He and Breadhead are both.
I knew Breadhead was there, but I don't remember him. But
Yeah, they're just
okay,
standing off to the side. They're not really doing all that much, but they're there.
yeah. So as far as side characters go, I would give Ahmad an A plus,
An A plus.
top tier. It's a tier list now.
He's pretty good, yeah. Okay, where's Breadhead rank then?
Breadhead not quite as high. He doesn't have as many like speaking lines. Um,
That's true.
but I mean, if they're going like if he's a golem, like I don't know. I just really liked the fact that like how different he was from everyone else,
I really like that too.
and I had no idea why. I had no
Um,
idea how he had gotten to how he was. But if he was made that way, I don't know. That's
he
pretty. That's
definitely seems like he was made that way.
yeah.
Like the yeast packet has
That
a
was such a
similar
funny
looking.
gag. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a really good gag,
Rising yeast. Fast rising yeast.
and it's probably got one of my favorite like moments of animation after it too.
Yeah, when like
Um,
he buffs up and is like
yeah,
running
he
along the
buffs up
road.
and jumping onto the cart after dodging the angel storm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, I really like his expression when he flicks the virtue. He flicks vigilance off the
Oh
front
yeah,
of
he just
the
like
truck.
bling like a just a tiny
Yeah.
little flick.
Great. Yeah, I really like him too. But you're right, he didn't get a ton of speaking lines this episode, but I do think he is meant to be more of a quiet character.
Yeah. Which is fine. I
But
mean, I really like the cast of
yeah,
characters. Like the team works really well together.
yeah, I think everybody got like the right amount of time given that this is the pilot and you're just introducing everybody. I think keeping the focus mainly on Ken and Mel was a very good decision, especially since um, I guess we should probably mention the pacing. This is really fast paced, I guess.
Yes, it is very
And
fast paced.
I think the main reason why is just because they're introducing so many different story elements, and they kind of have to introduce all of this, a lot of these story elements at the very least. So I'm not sure exactly how you could have fixed the pacing while also communicating everything they needed to, without splitting it into 2 episodes or something like that.
Yeah, I thought about that a lot, but if they splitting it into 2 episodes, you would really like that would really hurt the pacing even more
Yeah,
than the fast pacedness. I would just suggest making it longer. Just make it like maybe 5 minutes longer. Slow it down just a bit, but
I think that's actually a pretty good idea. I think if they made it just a tad longer, just a few minutes,
yeah,
that would
it doesn't need to be anything crazy because I mean you don't need to
yeah,
add anything to it. Just slow it down a little bit.
just the only thing you really need to add is just a little bit of breathing room
Yep, yep,
for people to really process the information that they're being told. And I think that would help with most of the criticism about pacing that I've heard.
yeah. And that's like the only major criticism I've heard is that it's oh it's all rushed, it's all too fast paced. Which
Right.
after watching it a couple times, it doesn't feel as bad after watching it a couple times. But
Definitely not.
the first time I
Um,
was like, okay, the world is like all this information is being thrown at me and I don't understand it. All I know is that
right.
mud is funny.
Mud is funny.
Wait, I like Jack. And like That's like one of the first lines in the show, and it's just such a good start for the whole group.
It's a very good line. Um, so
Are there
if it
any
comes back to me,
are there any
I'll
other
say
big
something.
points of criticism you would have for the show?
It's not a big point. It's a very minor point of criticism that I have. I don't really have much criticism for the show at all. So I have a very minor visual criticism of the file.
Okay.
Mel's file for her scheme is labeled Angel Egg when that's not actually what she would want other people to believe about it. Because she's plotting to steal the human egg, and disguise the angel egg as that human egg. She's planning to steal an angel egg, disguise it as the human egg, and destroy that.
Yeah,
So
her plan is to lie about the egg, but her file
right,
is not labeled that way.
yeah, her file is labeled as what the egg really is, which is an angel egg, and she's talking about this in front of all the patrons in the butcher shop. So probably should have named the file uh the lie instead of what it actually is.
Yeah,
Probably should have named it human egg.
it's probably that's a pretty good point. If I was gonna like rob a bank, I would title my plan like robbing the candy store. That's like just to throw everyone off, just to
Maybe you wouldn't want to put the robbing part in there.
that's even a bigger brain
Yeah,
plan
yeah,
right
maybe.
there. Mowing the
It's
grass
called
at this
yeah. Yeah, that's my one bit of criticism I think I have for the show. Other than the pacing, but like I'm not really sure um how exactly you could fix that except adding just a little bit more time. So I don't even think that's too big of a deal for me.
Yeah. I really have almost no criticisms. The only small criticism I have is a personal one, which is um there's two different times when the animation goes to like a completely different style and it gets a little too realistic for me. The one is right
Oh,
after
you sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say after they get shot a bunch of times and then they come back to life, the animation like zooms in on Ken's face and he's like all rubbery and super detailed and everything. Um, and it's just
Mhm.
supposed to be like a disturbing image, I guess. Which I mean, kind of disturbing, but it just kind of
Right.
threw me off. I didn't really think you needed that, but and it happened.
Those are grossed out.
Yeah, those are just like gross out moments, which I'm just not like a huge fan of. I guess like in general, the idea of them, but
I don't really like gross out moments either, but I think I think
the toenail being ripped off, that was gross. We didn't need
yeah,
that.
that was pretty gross, but I can look past that if the show's good enough, and I think the show is definitely good enough for
Oh
me to
yeah, absolutely. It's just a personal preference thing that
uh,
I'm just willing to voice out here. So
very funny. I do think that I think the gross out for the part where he's telling Mel that she's not like them and that, she's never gonna be
oh yeah,
is
when it's like that one, I'm more
from a
okay with.
story perspective.
He's like a blob, like just sitting.
Yeah, Breadhead's all
Saw.
moldy
Oh yeah.
and everything. Yeah.
Uh, what do they do for Mud? What do they do for him? I forget. Trying to find it here.
I'm trying to find it, but
Okay, 8/24 is what it is. Yeah, I Breadhead's funny because he's just like super
8/24.
moldy,
Yeah, he's just a big moldy piece of bread.
and Mud's not too bad for me because it's already too unrealistic. So it's all him just being like super snotty, like he's like melting or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ken's the
I'll be
one
honest.
that there. Ken, I don't like Ken's. It looks. I guess that's more funny.
Yeah.
I it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I think that's a good use of it. I think that use of it is probably better um than the car chase scene
Yeah.
when he's talking to Jack. Yeah.
This one's more comedic than the other two. Although they're definitely a gross
Yeah.
factor, but
Yeah, and I mean those gross out like those gross out gags were really popular in like the 2000s, like mid 2000s I'd say. Um I think probably mid 2000s, maybe late 2010s or early 2010s, not late 2010s, early 2010s. Um like Misadventures of Flapjack had a lot of those sorts of gross out like really realistic portrait shots. SpongeBob is probably the most famous one for that. So I'm guessing maybe he took a bit of his inspiration from those types of shows. But yeah, it was never my kind of humor.
yeah. I mean, there is a lot of great humor in this that I love. So
Yeah. And I think that gross out shot in the butcher shop, like we talked about, I think that one's actually pretty well integrated. Even if it's not my style of humor, I still think it's funny. Like
yeah, it is
I
still
think it's a good
funny.
way to
I do like
emphasize
it,
what
especially
he's saying.
Breadhead. Breadhead is is pretty funny
Yeah, I think
because he's still
Redhead is the
smiling.
funniest one because I don't. Yeah, he's just happy. Is there anything else you want to talk about
No, pretty much everything
in terms of?
from start to
Okay.
finish. I mean, might have been
Uh,
a little too fast paced the first time I watched it, but now that I've watched it like four
yeah,
times, really nice. Can't wait to watch it again.
yeah. I think the more yeah, I think the more you watch it, the less the pacing is an issue because you have a lot of the context already, so you're not having to try to remember all the new elements being introduced. So I definitely think it benefits from a rewatch, especially with all the details as well.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I can't wait to like
I think.
see all the details that I've been missing. So
Oh yeah. um, I think that I just wanted to mention like I really like how they use the setting in like they take advantage of the fact that the characters are immortal and they think through like kind of how that would affect things in terms of like how do you deal with a snitch? How do you deal with a rat if you can't kill him? How do you make sure he doesn't talk? Well, you chain him to cement and throw him in the ocean. Can't talk that from down there.
yeah, when I saw that, I was like, wow, okay, they like actually thought through like how to deal with like people when they don't
Yeah,
die. But then at the very end, they bring it back
yeah,
because like yeah, people can just fish them up and then
right.
secrets are out.
So it's definitely not a perfect system, and it makes a lot of sense why somebody might be wanting to go fish people up. I'm sure there's a lot of reasons why you could benefit from that in terms of like, well, if this person was dangerous enough to be cemented, or somebody wanted them dead enough to cement them and throw them in the ocean, then they probably know something that I could benefit from. I could get a secret out of them and maybe do some blackmail or something. Or maybe they'd be so grateful that they could get money for saving them.
Yeah.
Or you could just threaten to throw them back if they don't. Whatever. I'm sure there's a lot of interesting reasons you'd go fishing
It's
for
like a
sure.
they have a catch and release joke where they pull someone out.
Yeah.
They figure out they don't like they're one guy's just looking for a good friend. He pulls someone out like, "Oh, we don't match." And just throws him back.
No, not this one.
Or maybe like he goes fishing and goes,
um,
"Wait, didn't I catch you like last week?" And he goes, "No, you didn't. No, you didn't." And he throws him back in the
no, 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 no,
in
no.
the ocean.
I'm different. I'm Jerry. That was Jim. I'm Jerry. Yeah, I thought that was really good. I also really liked Breadhead like chopping his head off. and
Yeah,
using it as bait. I thought that was a
and
really
like
good way to
walking forward or like
utilize his immortality. Yeah, he takes off this big bread cutter, this big electric bread cutter, just kicks his own head forward.
he uses his own mouth as like a bear trap.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good use of it as well. Um, I guess I'm just kind of recounting like a couple small things I wanted to mention before we close. So I also like that the fact that the angel mother would know is kind of foreshadowed because of the angel seeing Mel's black blood after
Hmm.
the car accident in the chase. I thought that was just a good little bit of foreshadowing
Yeah,
that I wanted to mention.
and super interested in the Angels, like and like why they would want it. Why do they want Mel dead? Like from the
Yeah.
show, it seems like they do, but why? Like I don't know. There's just
Well,
so many questions I want
well,
answered.
I don't know if they want her dead. I don't think they want her dead. I think they want her to fulfill the prophecy,
Oh, okay.
but I'm not really sure. Um, they do seem to be playing it a little dangerously. When she sends the angel storm after him, because
Yeah,
probably could have killed Mel in that. Probably could have killed Mel in that. Um, but then again, because the storm is made out of like angels, like actual like living creatures instead of just being like a thing, maybe they could have maneuvered around her or something like that. Maybe. So
Also, I
I'm
thought
willing to give a little benefit of the doubt there.
something small that I've noticed. I don't know if you've seen or not. When Ken is fighting Vigilance in the van, um,
Mhm.
it shows you like the screen, like from Vigilance's perspective, and as soon as it locks on to Ken, you get a shot of the Mother Angel, like, and it zooms into her eye, like she's seeing it through her eye, and then she sends the
Right.
storm after them, and I don't know how that is linked
Yeah.
together at all.
Well, I mean, because the virtues have their broken robot bodies of the virtues up in heaven where the mother angel lives, there's clearly a connection between the two,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Oh yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure if how it works, but they definitely seem to be linked. And like you said, it looks like she's looking through his eye for sure. And she
Yeah.
can definitely like use the angels to see other people and gather information, but it seems like she might be able to do that with the virtues as well. Definitely a cool detail. Definitely a cool catch. I guess my last question is, what do you think of the warning at the end of the episode?
The warning. Wait, what do you
Yeah,
mean?
the prophetic threat alert at the very end.
Like at the end of
There's
the
a
credits?
prophetic threat alert. Yeah,
I
at
don't
the
know
end of the
I don't
credits.
know what you're talking about. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, it should be right after the credits end.
Prophetic threat alert.
Yeah, it's like a kind of like a weather alert thing, you know?
Remain vigilant, stay indoors, arm yourselves.
Arm yourselves. The human threat remains uncontained. All denizens are reminded that false sightings or malicious reports will be prosecuted as deliberate acts of terror against the Gaslight District. What do you think of that?
That's interesting. Your fear is unnecessary. Hmm. Trying to just
When
assure
compliance is
all the
mandatory, your
citizens. Yeah.
cooperation is appreciated. Well, I think it also could be, you know, tying into the fact that there are going to be major consequences, that the plan didn't work out, that it didn't go as planned because the angel hatched before she spiked it.
Yep.
Specifically, the false sightings and malicious reports will be prosecuted as deliberate acts of terror. Um, I'm very curious to see how that's implemented.
Yeah. I had no idea this
If they
existed.
manage to, yeah, I would assume that it's hinting at like the plot of episode 2, and the fact it's definitely going to be about the fallout of the failure of her plan, but I'm not sure how exactly it'll go. Um, they might be able to um, convince people that it wasn't deliberate, because it would need to be deliberate, it seems. So I don't, or maybe they'll just be on the run. Maybe that's how it'll go. I don't know.
I figured that's what it would be. They would have to escape and then they'll be on the run.
Right. Yeah, I'm curious to see what direction it goes in for sure. Um, well, I think that's all I had to say. Those are my last little things I wanted to point out.
So you thought it was okay.
Any closing thoughts? Yeah, I thought it was okay. That was fine.
I think it's pretty good.
Mm, yeah,
I really hope
that's what I actually
the
thought.
series I really hope the series continues on same level of quality, if not better. If not better. If the next episode kind of
Hmm.
slowed down a little bit, had some more slow moments, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. I would like that for sure. Um, I I hope it gets more views. I think that's the main thing I want to say.
Ditch Digital
Um,
Circus.
because right now it is ranking. Well, they should still finish that show.
No, no, they shouldn't.
Shouldn't just
Abandon
ditch
it.
it. Oh, just because it's not our thing doesn't mean that other people, shouldn't watch it.
No, everyone should agree with
As
what
long as
I like. Everyone should like what I like and support what I like.
I I do hope it gets more views, because it has like 14 million, which is of course a lot, but compared to the other shows that Glitch has made, it is definitely kind of lagging behind them. So I I really really would like it if it could catch up, um, because the other Glitch pilots have done really well, for their big shows. I'm not really counting things like Meta Runner or Sunset Paradise, um, because I consider the real start of the studio like as like official like indie studio, like a really big professional thing, to be when they started doing Murder Drones, and I think that's fair. Not to say the other stuff isn't valuable or anything. I don't really I consider that kind of the prelude to the actual um studio forming in like kind of finding its footing. Oh,
Yeah, so
also,
so share the Gaslight District with someone who might enjoy it. Um
yeah,
you can buy the Breadhead plushie. They're selling that.
yeah, you could buy a Breadhead plushie or some of the other merch
Hmm.
to support it.
I'm starting a petition
We've got
to
some,
make Breadhead slippers, so you can sign that. Support that.
which is a great idea. Free money glitch,
Free
if you
money
want it,
glitch.
it's yours.
The channel's called Glitch. Make a channel called Free Money Glitch and just sell products.
Yeah, I I did forget one thing. I just wanted to shout out the music because I think the music's really good as well, and I think that scores can often get kind of looked over when people are talking about shows and movies and stuff. So the
Man,
music is really good.
I have not really paid attention to the music that much in the background. Is there how do you listen to the soundtrack? Is it released separately somewhere?
Yes, I'm pretty certain the composer released it on his
Okay.
YouTube channel. Um, I'll see if I can't find it real quick and send you a link.
Yeah. Awesome. I might even put it in the link of the video here so all of you guys can listen to it.
Yeah. So the composer's name is Oliver Buckland, and he has a playlist for it, which hopefully I clicked on. Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah.
There it
So he's got a full
is.
playlist of the score
Well,
for the
sweet.
episode.
I will
Um,
definitely check that out.
yep. I really like the first song and carjacking as well. So Green Glass Sea and carjacking. I think carjacking is probably my favorite. Um, it's got a really unique sound to it. Um, and one cool thing it does is, at least in carjacking, it incorporates some of the same sounds you hear in like horror films and horror scores a lot,
Okay.
which is really cool. It definitely has a unique sound to it that I haven't really heard elsewhere. So I think it's listen.
Definitely. I
Um,
will definitely be
but
doing
yeah,
that.
well, cool. I hope you like it. So yeah, for anyone who's interested, uh, check out Gaslight District. It's pretty good. You might enjoy it. I mean, if you've gotten this far, you probably will enjoy
Yeah,
it.
you've probably
You
already
probably
have seen
have
it and you
enjoyed it.
probably do enjoy it.
Yeah. So, um, if so, awesome.
Yeah.
We're in
Uh,
the same boat.
I'm not sure what we'll be discussing next, but I'm sure it will be interesting. It might be Andor. Who knows?
Yeah, it might be Andor. I have been watching Andor, and I need to catch up on the it just released 3 more episodes that I've heard are amazing, so I need to watch those next. That'll probably be the next thing on my watch list.
Okay.
The first 6 episodes I've watched, I have enjoyed. I thought 4, 5, and 6 were pretty pretty good, pretty good in particular. So I'm excited to see how it goes, and maybe we'll talk about it here.
Yeah, if it's good all the way through, then I'll for sure watch it. So,
Yeah, if it's good. I've heard good things. I've heard good things about it from YouTubers that I have similar taste to. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see what happens.
all right.
So Baby G, where can they find you and what's going on?
You can just find me on my channel, Baby Giraffe. Well, who knows what video I'll be working on? Maybe an Avatar characters tier list. I thought about doing. I thought that might be fun. Um,
Oh,
might be out in a few weeks. So yeah. Or it might have been out for 2 months by the time I get this video out. Who knows? Um, but I think the last video I did was my King of Kings movie review. So you can go check that out. That will be for sure be up on my YouTube channel. So you can go check that out.
yep.
What about you, Agent M? What are you doing?
Uh, well, I recently started posting art on Instagram. Um, I'm not sure how I feel about the the actual like UI and stuff. I've had a lot of technical problems with it, but I finally figured out a workaround, and I've started posting art there. So if you'd like to see some of my drawings, um, you can check them out at Save the Sketch on Instagram. Uh, I've I've got a link to it on the channel. So if there's any confusion about if it's me or not, then you can confirm there. So don't expect anything like super crazy. I'm just kind of using it as a way to share what I make. I'm not planning on making anything as like big as an animated show or anything like crazy like
Not
that.
yet. You have to say yet.
I'm just
You have to say yet at the end of
not
everything.
yet. I
Not
mean, like
yet.
we can dream. I can dream. But yeah, I draw some like I do mostly character design and creature design. So if you like weird looking guys with big noses and old fellas, or if you like big monsters and things, I draw a lot of weird guys. So if you like more monster stuff, I do that too. So um, you might want to check it out and see if you like it.
Yeah.
So that's it for me.
All links, all appropriate links will be in the description, as always. So
Yep.
go check everything out.
And
And go rewatch Gaslight District again.
yeah, yeah, check it out. It's free.
It
Free
sure
on
is.
YouTube. So many good things are coming out for free now. It's
Yeah.
just crazy, especially for animation. So
Oh, yeah.
no reason not to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and we'll still be making things. We'll make another podcast. Hopefully, hopefully it'll be out sooner than last time. But so stick around if you like our discussions about movies and stuff. So
Absolutely.
thanks for listening.
And we will see all of you guys in the next one. Bye.
Yeah, bye.